Kicks it to Holiday. It's back to Jennings. To the inside. New York moving it around. 2 on the clock. Fires for 3. It's hauled in by the Bulls. Well, they're passed away. Lopez, a screen on Jennings. Wade. That one doesn't go. The Knicks have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter start. And Holiday kicks to Porzingis.
At the line for 2.
And that one misses. And a new group in for the Knicks. Joakim Noah's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. Anthony comes in for Thomas. Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Justin Holiday. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Taj Gibson's checked in for Chicago. And the second free throw, good. Second minute off the clock now in the fourth. Gibson the screen. Wade dishes to Gibson. But on that shot, with that, the Knick lead is cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Butler.
You can't anticipate anything with him because his playmaking is so unpredictable.
Now here's Anthony. From 10 feet out. Great D that time from Gibson. Well, they're passing to Gibson.
Testing 1-2. Testing 1-2.
The Knicks leading by 6. Anthony up on top, defended by Butler. Doesn't get it to drop for him. And the Bulls going the other way now. And it's Wade in the corner. And Gibson kicks to Wade. It's a floater, and he lays it up and in. Now just a 4-point Knicks lead.
Has there ever been a more cold-blooded finisher than Dwayne Wade? The bigger the moment, the better he is.
That's his first personal foul. The line for your Knicks, Carmelo Anthony. 2 shots.
So the first one drops, and that puts them up by 5. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Nice job at the line to expand the lead.
58 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Lopez, a screen on Lee. Wade drives in. Lopez outside. It's hauled in by Porzingis. A bucket here would give them a bit more room.
True, but no need to rush it. Play smart. Really just continuing to increase the lead. This one should be easy for the rest of the way.
I can't see this one slipping away from them at this stage. They've just been too good today.
Here's Rondo. Lead left side. The shot will not fall. Rose against Rondo. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Noah the screen. Here's Anthony. Some solid defense from Butler.
How about him there, just bodying him up to make him alter the trajectory on that shot.
Make your presence felt. He definitely altered that shot.
Nice shot by Rondo.
Rondo showing once again that championship pedigree. Someone came to play.
Thanks very much, Joe. This was a team win tonight. But how big was the bench to the win tonight?
You know, I feel like to get to where we want to get to, we need everybody. And that's our mentality. So we're a team that grinds out games, we fight hard, and if we keep doing what we're doing, I think we can do something special this year.
We'll see how it all turns out, Joe. Thanks again.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Welcome back, Carmelo Anthony. As so often is the case, he was the straw that stirred up the passion, the confidence, the closing ability that we saw from his team tonight.
Boom, boom, boom. That's right, Ernie. Instruments. This guy was instrumental tonight in making sure they avoided a second shot loss. They needed somebody to step up tonight. He was their guy.
Unreal. That's what it was for Carmelo Anthony tonight. When his motor is running at top speed like that, he's just too much to handle. An explosive performance by Carmelo.
That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show, don't we, guys?
It was great.
Yeah. Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and for Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew. All 653,000 of them.
Yeah.
Hard-working. A lot of people. Yeah. It's a long line at the buffet, though.
Shout out to the T-Pose, man.
Oh,
I don't know
sure.
his name, but I know his face.
I'm Ernie Johnson. See you next time.
Not really. Maybe my secret surprise stash. I see that. Be careful up there, guys. Don't be careful. This floor feels pretty sketchy. It's totally spongy. Listen, this is gonna cave in. Are you sure? Yeah. All right. But I'm still gonna check out the bicycles because when you're a picker with no risk, there's no reward. It's clear your wood rim bikes. A lot of guys that like blue tire bikes. They don't want anything to do with wood rim stuff. And then what you value this cheap at? It's got good fenders, got a good seat. This cheap bicycle was made in the teens. The handlebars pull way back at you. Yeah, it's gonna hit that badge. Now look at the badge. It's full of porcelain paint. Lots of colors. It's got an Indian headdress on it. It's beautiful. I suppose in a $400 range. Yeah, you're right on the money. This cheap is a cool bicycle. On something of this time period, in this condition, it's amazing. I noticed you got some shaft drive bikes up here. Yeah.
It'll be the Knicks off the tip. We've got a chance here to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Taking a look at the Bulls, they've got Rajon Rondo, Robin Lopez out there with Taj Gibson. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Wade in at the 2-guard. Rose, good. And tonight's topic, the 7-game playoff series. You look at college, the one-and-done format does add some suspense. Instant elimination. But Doris, would you like to see the NBA shorten the length of any of the playoff series?
No, you know, Kevin, as you know, there was a time in the NBA where the early rounds were 5 games, so you only had to win 3. To be honest with you, I think the best measure of a series is who is the best of 7. I like the format. I know that we need to figure out maybe the starting date as moving back.
to me, gives legitimacy. That's the team that should be moving on.
There's no question about it.
That one drops for him.
You can't give him that shot. A few open looks are all it takes to get him in the zone.
Oh, he will take that shot over and over if they give it to him. That's a defensive error they can't afford to repeat.
Now here's Anthony. 29 points for him last game against Boston.
And you know, he was getting fouled time and time again and really delivered at the free throw line. Huge contribution there, guys.
Boom. Porzingis can't hit.
Stellar defense to alter that shot. You can tell his release was a tad awkward.
Gibson passes to Rondo. Lopez outside.
Boom.
Here's Wade. And misses it off the right side of the rim. The Knicks have gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. Rose kicks to Porzingis. Back to Rose. The dish now to Noah. New York moving it around. Outside Rose. The offensive rebound. Noah kicks to Rose. Lee dishes to Anthony. Second shot opportunity. And it goes out of bounds. That one's off Anthony.
And now we get a moment to see the numbers for Butler. Averaging about 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So much of what this team does revolves around his offense.
On defense, New York. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
Yeah, they were able to keep it close for the most part, but you could just tell they were not in sync as a unit.
You knew they weren't playing well. They tried to make some adjustments. Those got countered. This just wasn't their night.
Defense.
If you're the coach, you hope it's a wake-up call. Get them to tighten things up on the inside and start protecting the rim with a little bit more authority.
Now here's Rose. He's coming off a 25-point game against Boston.
Yeah, don't forget how great he was drawing contact and getting himself to the free throw line. Picked up a ton of easy points there.
No good, and they can't put an end to this drought. Chicago with the ball. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with San Antonio.
And the issues they had defensively, in part, I thought, was a huge factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was a road game for them.
Listen, the offense had the crowd's energy to feed off, but it doesn't explain a lack of effort on defense.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Noah. Lance Thomas comes in for Porzingis. Justin Holiday's checked in for Courtney Lee. And it's Jennings in for Derrick Rose. Now here's Thomas. And here's Holiday.
Boom.
From 11 feet away. Cannon with the rebound. To the inside. Grant outside. Back to Mirotic. Got it off in time and released it in time, but it's off the mark. And the horn signals the end of the first, and not a lot of scoring yet in this one, Clark. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And what stands out to you from New York in this one?
It's been a point of emphasis, no doubt, to make sure they attack the rim offensively.
You know, and until the defense closes off that lane to try and stop that, no reason to change strategies.
Here's here's Chicago. Their last encounter was in Chicago.
And guys, a loss like that, that's one when you just got to put it behind you as quickly as possible.
It's a barometer, though. You know where you need to improve and by how much to win these kinds of games.
Taking a look at the Bulls. McDermott and Mirotic, the sharpshooting forward. Cannon out there with Grant. And it's Portis in at the 5 spot.
You know, you figured that Dwayne Wade might be a player to finish his career playing for just one team, the Miami Heat. But in the end, things just ended bitterly. Wade had taken less money in the past so the Heat could win titles. I mean, he was done playing for a discount. And the Bulls, boy, did they step up.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, smartphones and other technology are ubiquitous nowadays. Clippers head coach Doc Rivers says teams do pay a price. Social media and texting has absolutely hurt chemistry, he said. He recalled his championship season with the Celtics. One of the best things that happened to them was during the preseason in Italy, the players couldn't get a wireless signal, and they had to act.
Thanks, David. Here's Grant, following the score by New York. 5 to shoot. Here's McDermott. Not enough on that one as it misses. And with the trade of Derrick Rose and the departure of Pau Gasol, it seemed like the Bulls might look to rebuild and go young. Then they reverse course and get Chicago native Dwayne Wade.
And don't forget the deal for Rajon Rondo. They're taking kind of a blended approach. Not a lot of three-point shooting in that backcourt. So it'll be interesting to see how all these pieces fit together. Excellent box out there, keeping himself between the man and the basket.
Cannon kicks to Mirotic. Grant the pass to McDermott. Cannon dishes to McDermott. Grant against Jennings. With the shot. Grant. That's good. Grant's got the lead up to 2 now for the Bulls. Pass to Holiday. Up now. Sets the screen for Holiday. Jennings passes to Hernan Gomez. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. Here it goes on Jaren Grant.
Boy, you can look back over some of the legends who suited up in a New York Knickerbockers uniform. Walt Frazier, Patrick Ewing, Willis Reed. Names that will certainly live on in the proud history of this organization.
And the Knicks, regular playoff contenders from the late 60s through the turn of the century. But just 4 playoff appearances, Doris, in the last 15 years. How do they get to being back as a playoff regular?
You know, with the new luxury tax and league-wise exposure, big markets don't have the same advantage they once did. In the media capital of New York, it's hard to go young and build from the ground up. But it's getting harder to create a winner any other way.
So Chicago ends up going with the new group. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
And really, you got to commend the Bulls for the success they've had in the draft. They've done a great job of finding players to fill roles within that team.
Now, here's Lopez. He's coming off a 10-point game against San Antonio. And with the Bulls and their great success, a lot of it has come to Big Greg later on in the draft.
Yeah, the last lottery pick the Bulls had was Derrick Rose. Not a bad one. But since then, they've drafted or made trades in the draft to find a ton of rotation players. Give a lot of credit to their scouting department and continued success.
No good on that one.
You know, early in his career, Robin Lopez was a backup center. But he has grown into a quality starter. You're talking about an elite rim protector. Though he's not the quickest big man in the game, he uses his size exceptionally well.
The Knicks making a switch here. Porzingis is checked in.
Boom!
And the second free throw, good. And for Robin Lopez, you hear it time and again. Counting numbers, points, rebounds, what have you. Doris, don't do justice to his impact on a game.
I'm going to give you an example, Kevin, right? Here's his rebounding numbers. They're not going to knock your socks off, but his teams always rebound much better when he's on the floor. And the reason?
because I don't hear it.
Turn the lights out.
Anthony kicks to Rose.
It's a live stream. I'm trying to test it.
And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. It's the Knicks up by 1. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenneth Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. For the Knicks, the first quarter was pretty even. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. They had a slight edge on the scoreboard in the second quarter, but only by the slimmest of margins. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what do you think?
Well, so far, they've taken care of their business here at home. It's something you might expect, but it's not a given. We'll see if they can keep that up in the second half.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
They ran their offense very well in the first half. There were almost no forced shots. It was good, smart basketball. The motion in their offense was terrific. They made those defenders work very hard. I like what I saw from them for the most part.
And that'll do it as the second half is just about ready to begin. Back to Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game. Hey, watch yourself.
Celebrate. You're the best.
Second. Falls.
Boom. 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 Boom.
Indoors with the behind-the-scenes access you've had for so many years. What are some things that fans don't get a chance to see, experience in the NBA?
Yeah, I think one thing that I marvel at is how seriously these men take their job. This is not, yes, they are well compensated, but by and large, these men will take your heart out to get a spot on an NBA roster. And it's their vocation as opposed to their job. These men are passionate about the league. They have incredible work habits, and I'm in awe of how hard they work.
Are you surprised, too, at the playbook? People just think these plays just kind of happen. Every play is from there is some scripted design for every play.
It drives me crazy when people say they'll only watch the NBA in the final 2 minutes because that's when the game's decided. There is in any level, and to me you're doing a disservice if you don't watch the full 48.
Great points. Melo and Porzingis, the two stars at the forward spots. Rose is out there with Lee, and it's Noah in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the 5 for New York right now. Now here's Rondo. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Butler dishes to Gibson, and the basket is good. Third quarter here, and 5 lead changes so far.
And guys, neither team has been able to pull away.
Rondo against Rose. Noah kicks to Anthony. Four on the shot clock. Butler with the steal. Rondo against Rose, and the rebound goes to the Knicks. They've got the Hawks ahead of them in their next game, and it's in Atlanta. It's game 1 of a 3-game road trip. Noah kicks to Lee.
Boom.
Here's Porzingis. Will not go. This is off the front iron. The Bulls have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. You know, Greg, when Jimmy Butler is out there, you have to be aware of just how explosive a player he can be. When he turns it on and gets in that groove and feels the rhythm, he can completely take over a game with his scoring.
And Kevin, I'm sure you remember that 53-point outburst he had last season. Butler has games where he has everything that kind of just falls into place. And he gets his scores in so many ways, but usually when he goes off, it's because he's getting to the free throw line.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, guys, we know Jimmy Butler made a big bet on himself back in 2014. He turned down the Bulls' 4-year, $44 million contract extension offer, and it paid off. After a breakthrough season, he signed a new contract, a max deal for 5 years and $95 million. He said of his decision, "I was nervous, I'm not going to lie to you, but everything I put myself through, I knew what I was capable of."
He's come a long way, David. Thank you. Now here's Lee after Dwayne Wade's miss. Outside Rose. To stop
Boom.
him out. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And the one thing about Rose is that, you know, he can still get up for the big matchups. Whenever he faces another great point guard, he seems to play at his best level and loves to push himself and is willing to step up to the challenge. Let's just hope that he can eventually get back to that all-star caliber presence he had just a few years ago.
And it's tied up with that one. And with Rose and his injuries, it's not easy for him to put in a work day every day, but as you said, he can light it up on the big stage.
And that is why he's such a threat. Even with his numbers being somewhat diminished, Rose knows what it takes to be a successful player at the highest level. You only wish he wasn't robbed.
Throw drops for him.
And Derrick Rose, the former #1 overall pick in 08, one of the most athletically gifted point guards the league has ever seen.
Here's Cannon. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Now Mirotic. From deep.
Boom.
And again, Chicago. No good. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. And again, it's the Knicks missing. The Bulls have gone 2 of 7 from the field in the third. That leaves room for improvement, sir. There's the pick. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports.
Moments make players into stars. Moments make teams.
Boom.
This is my moment. This is my team.
All right, the 4th quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play.
Boom.
The Knicks with the lead. So for Chicago right now, Mirotic and Gibson up front. D-Wade out there with Cannon, and it's McDermott in at the 3 slot. Now here's Jennings. Pass to Quinn, just 3 to shoot. New York needs to get off a shot. Jennings kicks to Thomas, passes it to Kuzminskis. Outside Holiday. Second chance shot with 1 on the clock. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so we will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here.
First personal foul, teams first.
Boom.
So for the Bulls, Jimmy Butler comes in for McDermott. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Isaiah Cannon.
Boom.
And that one misses.
And guys, as we know, New York has gone through some tough times in the past. The question now is New York City still a destination free agents hope to be a part of? Listen, the lure of the city certainly should be a factor. The other part, this is a storied franchise.
And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That is his first foul of the game.
And you can see he just...
Change for the Bulls. Lopez is checked in. Lee kicks to Porzingis.
Boom.
The shot, no good. So the Bulls will take it the other way.
You know, despite his cold shooting, his team is still winning.
Rondo kicks to Lopez. To the middle. Here's Wayne.
Boom.
A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
Just not much you can do when he gets the ball that close to the bucket. It's lights out.
Lee outside. Here's Anthony. There's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
You know, great scorers just have that knack. Get inside, it's either a bucket or a trip to the free throw line.
The line for your Knicks, Carmelo Anthony. At the line for 2.
Boom.
And he can't make the second free throw either. Missing both.
Boy, that's not the result I would have predicted. Usually you can take those to the bank when he's at the line.
Rondo kicks to Lopez. There's the feed to Wade. To take the lead, and it's Lopez laying it in. And the Bulls lead by 1.
You know, one of the most impactful offensive rebounders in the game. Robin Lopez doing work.
New York moving it around. Kicks it out to Jennings. 1:46 left in the fourth quarter of this one. 7-foot shot. Jimmy Butler. Final quarter of play. Wade outside. He feeds it to Rondo. And stolen by Jennings.
On the break, on the break. There it is. He's getting ready.
Kicks to Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Backing off. Setting it up.
1:12 left in the fourth quarter.
He's setting it up.
Shot clock at 6. From deep three-point.
There's a shot.
Anthony
Boom.
missing again.
Jeez. Maybe he was trying to show off or something right there.
Whatever he was trying to do, that's not his best look. He can get a better one.
Jennings kicks to Porzingis. Out to Lee. And the pass to Carmelo. Outside, Porzingis. Back to Anthony. The jump hook. Nails it.
Stop right there. That could be the difference maker.
Probably the moment we'll remember from this one.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're behind by 1. 35 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
Hey, they do have enough time here if they shoot quickly to get the 2 for 1. We'll see if they try it.
changing. Rose is checked in, and the Bulls making a change also. Taj Gibson's checked in for Mirotic. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey guys, I was able to listen to what Fred Hoiberg told his team. He told them they have to pick it up. He said there's no time like the present, fellas. Embrace the moment. And let's take back this game. See what they can do, Kevin.
And now we've got the intentional foul. And an intentional foul right there.
Yeah, that's right. No other option but to foul and look for some misses.
Come on, for your next, Carmelo Anthony. 2 shots.
You know, Carmelo Anthony, problematic for the defense. He spends so much time at the line, keeps you on a string.
Let's go, Melo.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 3-point game.
A bit of heroics at the line right there as he bumps their lead to 3 and makes things a little easier for them defensively.
Chicago calls timeout. They're losing by 3. 20 seconds left in the game. Wade drives in. Inside, Gibson. Yes! And that shot brings them to within just 1.
Wow, I'm surprised he took that shot, but he has a huge size disadvantage in that matchup. But tremendous job to knock that one down.
Come on, for your next, Derrick Rose. Taking 2 shots.
Boom.
Gets the first, and that will put them up by 2. And so he drops them both. It's a 3-point game. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're losing by 3. We've got 13 seconds left in the 4th quarter. What do you think, guys?
And there's still time left, so they don't necessarily have to go for the 3. A quick, easy bucket inside will do.
Yeah, they could go for the 2 and then foul, but you know they'd really like that 3.
We've got 13 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Butler from outside. Bullseye! I know, that was an enormous 3-pointer.
This guy is such an offensive talent. The points will always be there for him. That much we know.
New York calls timeout. The score is tied at 24. 7 seconds left to play in the final quarter. 7 seconds left here.
Come on, Melo, take a shot, baby. Take a shot, Melo. Take a shot, baby.
Here's Anthony.
Boom!
No good. Regulation is ended, and we're heading to overtime. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. Well, if you're just joining us, the intensity has really heated up in this one. As we watch this one go now to overtime. And so off the tip, it's New York. And always a good ride in these post-regulation battles. This overtime now looking to be an exciting one. All fueled up and ready to go to overtime basketball here, brought to us by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. And New York, looking at who they've got. Melo and Porzingis, the two stars at the forward spots. Derrick Rose is out there with Lee, and it's Noah in at the 5 down low. Here's Wade after the made shot from Joakim Noah. Rondo can't get it to go. Lee kicks to Anthony. Back to Lee. Pass to Porzingis. Rondo against Rose. Just 5 to shoot to the paint. And Lee with the basket on the assist by Rose. And now a 4-point New York lead. The Bulls shooting about 42% so far. Wade outside. Lopez, a screen on Lee. Wade passes to Lopez.
You know, with Robin Lopez, a career mid-70s free throw shooter, we'll take that any time from the center position.
He doesn't hit the first, and that was the one they really wanted. He's got one more, though. And he does get the second one, and that narrows the lead down to just 3.
If he hits all of those, they're feeling a lot more comfortable, but now still a one-possession game.
Connects!
And this is why Melo gets the big bucks. A lot of players will shy away from an important shot, but Melo wanted to be in that position.
Chicago calls timeout. They're down by 5. There's 49 seconds left in the first overtime. Action has been terrific. Butler dishes to Wade. He kicks to Rondo.
Boom!
It's in! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
Boy, nice look right at the bucket. Good to see them work the ball inside like that.
Anthony kicks to Rose. Porzingis with a screen on Rondo. Screen by Porzingis. Rose with the ball. He's picked up by Rondo. 6 to shoot. Porzingis with a screen on Butler. Pulls from the top of the key. Sinks it.
And Derrick Rose accustomed to carrying a team offensively, taking and making big shots down.
They trail by 5. 12 seconds left in the first overtime. Action has been terrific. What do you think, guys?
You know, and not only do you want to draw up a score here, but it's got to be a quick one.
And then an immediate foul and get them at the free throw line.
Wade outside. Kicks to Butler. Back to Wade. Outside Rondo. Fires the 3.
Boom!
Good D by Lee. So it's New York picking up the win. They escaped with a victory, although they needed an extra period to get it done.
Yeah, but what a great game. I mean, both teams, I felt like, gave it their all. When it came to OT, it was just all about sheer determination on their part.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in.
And you have some original songs in 2K17, and one of them being All Night Long.
The 2K Sports pregame show, presented by Kia.
Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with my colleagues, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight, it'll be the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Indiana Pacers. Taking a look at the Pacers, 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball. Looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. And Al Jefferson, an offensive presence when he's on the floor, heading into the back end of his career now, but still putting up good numbers. Kenny, just what does he bring to the table as a player?
Well, he's the guy that you have to double in a low block. You know, if you play him one-on-one, he's tough to deal with. So he draws lots of attention. He gets up, he gets fouled, he can shoot free throws. He is a load in the box.
You know, he's older now, doesn't command the same amount of touches as he did when he was younger. The Big Al always puts that work in on offense. That's why I nicknamed him Baby Fundamentals.
Baby Fundamentals.
Like Tim Duncan, but he's Baby Fundamentals.
That does it for us for now. We'll see you later.
Yeah, squeaking. Yeah.
It's an Eastern Conference matchup as the Atlanta Hawks come into town in this game. Happy holidays, everyone. With Brett Barry and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan, and David Aldridge will be joining us on the sideline as well. You look at Indiana, they know this is the type of game they need to win if they're going to take the next step. Facing a closely ranked team, no clear underdogs based on the tail of the tape.
Yeah, and seeing where the Pacers are, they basically lived up to the expectations so far this season, and that's not really good news for their fan base because those expectations only had them on the brink of the playoffs.
Unfortunately, those expectations were right on the money. They just weren't ready to join that elite group of teams at the top of this league. And they're still in the playoff picture, and we all know anything can happen in the postseason.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the court right now for the Hawks. Schroeder and Bazemore pair up at the point and off-guard spots. Howard is out there with Paul Millsap, and it's Cephalosha in at the small forward. Robinson passes to Young. Shot clock at 3. Here's Teague. They get it back. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Just dirty work on the offensive boards there. Rips it down and then tops it off with a strong putback.
The Pacers shooting their first free throw of the evening.
And they've shot the ball well this season in terms of their attempts. 81%.
That one misses for Young. And for Thaddeus Young, extremely effective last season after signing a 4-year, $50 million contract. Definitely made an effort to earn that money.
And for a guy who didn't operate much out of the post, he still took high percentage shots. You saw the hustle, his ability to rack up steals, the improved rebounding. He moves his feet well enough to play the three and worked on his strength enough to where he can also play the four.
That kind of look is right in Schroeder's wheelhouse.
Outside, George shoots from 14, and the rebound goes to Howard.
He looked like he was in rhythm to shoot that one, guys, especially as open as he was. Just clank.
He picked up 27 points in their last win against the Nuggets in Denver.
Yeah, but he set up shop at the free throw line. I mean, he just could not be defended out on the floor.
The Pacers have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Indiana moving the ball around. Robinson up top. He's covered by Bazemore. Robinson kicks to Young. The kick out to T. Just 5 on the clock. And that one is off. And Atlanta will come the other way. Fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the stars that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Well, how much more does it mean that they did this on the road? Some tired legs on their starters led to more minutes toward the bench, and that turned out to be a big blessing in disguise. Well, the defense ready for him there in prevent mode, making sure that he didn't get a clean look at that layup.
Outside, George. Here's Turner. George trying to break free. The shot by Turner no good. Turner kicks to Howard. Well,
and also in that one, he had the opposition on pins and needles on the defensive end of the floor, recording 4 steals that night on his way to an overall stellar game.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Al Jefferson, he's checked in for Miles Turner. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Glenn Robinson. And Brooks subbed in for T. And Atlanta will go for a different look here. Mike Muscala is checked in for Howard. Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Cephalosha. And Tim Hardaway subbed in for Kent Bazemore. Now here's Jefferson. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game.
That set had everything but the finish. You know, even though they missed that shot, they know they will convert that more times than not.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Hardaway dishes to Scott. Can't hit that one.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Well, that happens sometimes. The ball just does not go down, but I'll tell you what.
One quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Hawks lead by 3. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Indianapolis.
Boom! Boom!
And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to a lot of criticism, but he says he takes comfort in playing the game he still loves.
Basketball. This is my passion. You know, on the court, it's my sanctuary.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
It's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how what a balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that clutch on the court.
Well, we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And when you consider how Atlanta is doing, your thoughts?
I just don't know that you're going to see a better quarter defensively than what we saw in the first.
Yeah, I just really love that they're in their hearts tonight, contesting shots, making their opponent work for every point.
They've got C.J. Miles, Brooks out there with Rodney Stuck, then it's Young, and it's Jefferson in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the Pacers' 5. Now here's Korver, still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And the shot goes in. Scott's got the opening basket here in the second quarter for the Hawks. Every season, Brent, so much exciting young talent always coming into the NBA.
Well, that's what the league is really predicated on, is young drafted players who come in and change the fortunes of a franchise around. I think we're about to see some of that take place in Minnesota with Karl Anthony Towns.
One of my favorite young players, only 1 year at Kentucky.
And another guy who people look at with regards to his position, Kevin, and say they can't quite figure out what it is that he does not do well.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Alder.
Say, it was one of the most devastating on-court injuries we've seen. But he's back now, and he says it put everything in perspective. This game can be gone at any second. I've got to enjoy this ride, enjoy this journey. I'm much more happy. I just see things in a different light now. Kevin?
Yep, great to have him back in action, D.A. Thank you. So it's Atlanta now after the shot from Jeff T. They set the screen. They'll set the screen.
Boom.
Delaney, T covering. Here's Delaney. A second chance effort. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Let's get some information from the 2K leaderboard. And across the last 10 games in the NBA, during that span, these teams have the most second chance points in the league. The Hawks, number 1.
Really something to see. Their effort on the offensive glass has just led to so many second chance opportunities.
He misses the free throw. Well, for the Pacers last season, they trade Roy Hibbert to the Los Angeles Lakers. David West took far less money. Greg to leave town. You worried about their front court and that it would be in shambles?
Yeah, and instead, a rookie Miles Turner showed himself to be a steal as a shot-blocking, perimeter shooting big, and it was a best-case scenario. If they could build on that, I think they have a chance to be one of the contenders in that Eastern Conference.
Now, here's Teague. He's coming off a 31-point game against Boston.
But his passing just blew me away. I mean, to see him operate their offense that way was a breath of fresh air. And that's such good work to make this a one-possession game. Terrific steal to get it all started.
Dishes to Millsap. They set the pick. Millsap a screen. Now here is Cephalosha. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Millsap kicks to Cephalosha. Back to Millsap. Half of basketball. Now Cephalosha. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Atlanta again missing. The Pacers have gone 2 or 3 from the field here.
In the break.
Now here's Miles. Millsap covering. And
boom.
Kicks the tee.
Boom.
Misses off the left eye. The Hawks leading.
Hey guys, I'm just trying to basically get my voice synced in with the video. with the broadcast.
First points of the night.
Millsap's mid-range J is getting more and more consistent. When he elevates for those shots, you expect most of those to go.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. It's Atlanta. They lead by 4. It's time now to go courtside.
And when I listen to the broadcast, it gives a lot of feedback, but normally I wouldn't have the broadcast playing. I just have to see how it's being broadcasted.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Mike Budenholzer. Your defense has been very good. Why has that happened?
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
I would call that a competitive first half of action. Ernie Johnson here. Well, a competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. At the end of the period, they held a 3-point lead. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. Kenny, what was your take on Atlanta?
You can see where the priorities are. Rebounding, and then more rebounding. They made a concerted effort.
And that about wraps it up.
A flyover up downtown gives you a great perspective of our location as we welcome you back to Indianapolis. And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead in the first 2 quarters. One guy who's been getting it done is Dennis Schroeder.
And even though the defensive pressure and attention was squarely on him in that first half, yet he's still able to be the most effective player on the floor.
Yeah, I just love the fact that he takes pride in his game. Those things keep him motivated to operate at this very high level every time he's on the court.
On the court for Atlanta, Schroeder and Bazemore pair up at the point and off-guard spots. Cephalosha is out there with Paul Millsap, and it's Howard in at the 5.
Boom.
Use that pick to get in close. Schroeder's got the first basket of the third quarter for the Hawks.
And Schroeder did not even have to think twice about that shot. This young man simply devours these chances inside.
And an impressive rookie season for Miles Turner, Greg. A bit of a slow start after requiring thumb surgery, but once he got out on the floor, he gave signs that he can be the Pacers' pivot of the future.
A millennial big man.
Yes.
Really, he's got the shot blocking and the ability to shoot it deep. Those kinds of players are really rare. Big time upside. They did very well for themselves with that number 11 pick.
And Brent, going back a few years to your formative playing days in high school, you played at one of the bigger powerhouse high schools in California. How did playing on such a team that had such high expectations at that early age help your skill level and your overall basketball development?
Well, going to De La Salle High School, if I really wanted success, I should have been.
Boom.
The football team was off the charts. We did have great success in basketball, and I did watch 2 older brothers play at the school, so I understood what the program was about, what kind of expectations there were from the coaches with regards to accountability.
I bet you would have been a pretty good wide receiver.
I might have been, at least for one play, until linebacker.
He's got the ball, and there he goes. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Boston Celtics.
And guys, just look at the turnover stats in that game. You're not going to win giving it up as many times as they did.
And defensively, they were not able to make up for it. The turnover discrepancy was...
Robinson misses. Atlanta leading by 5. Schroeder passes to Millsap. Here's Howard, hits the jump hook.
And a really nice job by Howard to come up with a high percentage interior shot. His shot selection has been superb.
So timeout called here, the first for Indiana. And some changes here for the Pacers. Al Jefferson, he's checked in for Turner. Stuckey comes in for George. And it's Brooks in for Jeff Teague. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Mike Muscala is checked in for Howard. Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Cephalosha. Hardaway subbed in for Kent Bazemore. Here's Robinson.
Boom.
Good coming on the assist by Rodney Stuckey. Robinson's got his first 2 points of the night.
And so much more responsibility for Hawks head coach Mike Budenholzer, named the team president in the summer of 2015. Well, I'll tell you what, he's been well prepared. 18 years in San Antonio. Actually played for Coach Popovich during those days where he was an athlete. I'll tell you, he still is one, but he's doing a terrific job.
Good, and the Atlanta lead is cut down to just 3 in the basket from Stuckey.
You know what? He wasn't going to wait around for any help on that break.
No reason to wait. That was all his from the get-go.
Now here's Korver. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Stolen by Brooks. Hung outside. Passes it to Robinson. Tries again. And you can count it over the line with a chance to make it 3.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus and able to still knock it down.
Pacers have shot 1 of 3 from the line tonight, missing 2 earlier on. That one drops. He ties it up. When you think of the temperament of Mike Budenholzer, comparing him to, say, Greg Popovich, who he was an assistant coach under for well over a decade, Brent, how would you compare the two of them?
They're very charismatic. They're the kind of coaches that as players, once you get some time with them, get a chance to know them, that what they're trying to do is just get the best out of you. That's something that both of them share.
Now here's Stuckey. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Indiana moving the ball around. Outside Jefferson. He feeds it to Myers. Just 4 to shoot. Brooks. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good.
And offensively, they seem to have turned a corner.
For Atlanta, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. There's 39 seconds left in the third quarter. And here's Schroeder. 7 points in the game. Off the run.
Boom!
And it's Miles with the rebound. The Pacers have gone 4 of 6 from the field since the start of the third. Brooks kicks to Robinson. Outside for Miles. Pass to Jefferson. The feed to Brooks. Screen by Jefferson. Shoots from the high post. That shot off. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. Pacers lead by 2. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. Budenholzer.
Playing through it. Keep playing. Keep playing our game. Here we go.
Mike Budenholzer laying it down to his good team, asking a little bit more from the energy standpoint, more effort from his guys.
Yeah, and I think he sees an opportunity for them to try and make a move here. Doesn't want to let that pass by.
And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. George and Young are the forwards. Teague and Stuckey are the guard tandem. And it's Turner in its center. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Cephalosha with it. Here's Schroeder. Millsap a screen. Feeds it to Howard. Cephalosha dishes to Millsap. That one, no good. Good defensive work there by Young. Stuckey outside. Schroeder against Teague. the shot, no good. So Atlanta will take it the other way.
Yeah, he's not hitting much of anything, but his team remains in front because of what they've done and how well they've been scoring.
Outside for Millsap. He dishes it to Schroeder. Howard against George. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Really, Howard is so adept at drawing contact, using those bruising shoulders and muscular frame to his advantage.
At the line of the house, White Howard. At the line of the tee.
Boom!
Makes it, and the next one could tie it up. Glenn Robinson, the third, is checked in for the Pacers.
Boom!
Second free throw, no good.
And the former first overall pick in the 04 draft, Howard has had a stellar career, a dominant force who continues to frustrate the opposition.
Now here's Turner. Turner with the screen. Outside, George. Launches it. Rebounded by Howard. The Hawks shooting poorly, just 35% so far. Cephalosha kicks to Howard. Young against Millsap. Off the glass. One.
Well, Millsap really wants the shot anytime he can get it from there. That's his comfort zone.
Young against Millsap. Young pass to George.
Boom!
Uses the glass to finish the leg.
And they'll be counting on even more points from him. That's essential if they're going to pull this game back.
Close game, fourth quarter. This is his time.
Now here's Schroeder. Pass to Bazemore. To the middle. Here's Cephalosha.
Boom!
Nice pass. Right under the rack perfectly for the layup.
Man, the teammates trusting Cephalosha with a big moment, and he comes through.
Screen by Young. George dishes to T. Floats one. Atlanta with the rebound. Howard's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Millsap a screen on T. Back to Bazemore. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
Not sure, maybe the pressure of the moment got to him.
He's checked in for Kent Bazemore. Pacers have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Outside, George. And stolen by Cephalosha.
Boom!
As important a bucket as we've seen all game long.
And the Pacers call time here. They're behind by 3. 34 seconds left to play in the final quarter. What's your take, guys?
Yeah, and looking at how much time they have, I think it's likely we'll see them try to get a good look and score quickly.
Here's a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on Nate McMillan talking to his team. He told them, don't look at the scoreboard. It's 0-0. One play at a time. Execute the game plan. That's how we're going to win this game. Kevin is trying to keep him focused.
Thanks, David. Screen by Young. Here's George.
Boom!
That one misses. Great D that time from Howard. And they commit an intentional foul. See another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
Had to foul him on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
And he commits the intentional foul.
Boom!
It's the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion.
Well, Kyle Korver at the line is lights out. And if there's guys on the floor you don't want to foul, Kyle Korver would be the one.
And so both free throws are good. It's a 5-point game.
And just like that, this game is a 2-possession affair.
Timeout called the Pacers. They're down by 5. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, time a huge factor right now. They've got to get points and then the foul.
And this is where 5 fingers need to become a fist. No room for error.
Who's watching here?
Left side, George. Outside, Turner. Robinson for 3.
Boom!
Tries to save it. They get it back. Outside for George. Over to the wing. And a miss there on the triple. And so the Hawks take the win. They seem to relish their role as the bad guy here tonight.
You know, Kevin, I sense that as well. I mean, they really did feed off all of that negative energy this crowd was directing at them. I mean, they turned it around and used it as motivation to close out a significant win.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Brent Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. And now to our good friend Ernie Johnson, who is standing by in the studio.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors. Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith as we move forward to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Dwight Howard. He's their go-to guy for a reason. You saw exactly why tonight. Just another memorable performance from one of the game's best players.
In a game like this, when Dwight Howard decides to dominate, there's nothing an opponent can do. That's what I love to see him do. Use his size, all the physical tools he has. Just go off. Dwight's a big man with a big game, and he was his best in this one.
He was a beast on the boards tonight, guys. There's nobody else. I think no one in the world that could match his effort on the glass tonight. Emotionally, his rebounding gave them a big lift.
And that'll do it for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Kenny Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, for Kevin Harlan, and for the entire 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. I hope you have a wonderful, even beyond wonderful.
Hey, I'm joined in studio by our 2K TV team. We have Mike.
The 2K Sports pregame show, sponsored by Kia.
Welcome, everybody. This is 2K Sports with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Tonight's broadcast will feature the Miami Heat as they go up against the New Orleans Pelicans at Smoothie King Center. And for New Orleans, they need some wins to start adding up here in a hurry. More or less half the season behind us, and they are still struggling to prove they can contend. And Shaq, we're coming up to the halfway point of the season. Some teams finally getting into a groove after a somewhat shaky start.
Yeah, every year is different. Sometimes it takes a little long.
I finally figured out what the feedback was. When I'm watching a broadcast, I have to keep it turned down. So at least I know that what feedback's coming from. And I'm still trying to sync my voice up because of the delay.
Just put on headphones.
No, but I mean people that's actual watching it. So if I say, oh, he just made the shot, my voice is not synced up with what they're seeing. So I'm watching it right here on the broadcast.
Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side, Greg Anthony and Brett Beard. And from the sideline, David Aldridge. For the Pelicans, happy to be here.
Once I get that tuned up, everything will be fine.
They're hungry for wins and have to look at this as a great chance facing another struggling team. We'll see if they can seize the opportunity.
And I think for New Orleans, they weren't part of the discussion.
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Well, Kevin, Heat coach Eric Spoelstra has worked his way up from the bottom.
Thanks, D.A. That effort permeates through the entire team. And this is where you start to see the wear and tear of the season tickets.
Yeah, I'm going to give it back to you. I needed it to look at the rock seal.
This is where opportunities for guys
I think I got it timed. I'm just double checking.
Bench may crop up, and so the coach's job is to make sure that their confidence is there, that they're ready to go, and when called upon as a player, you're ready to deliver.
That's a good answer. So here's Miami's starting group. We've got Josh Roberts. Dragic is out there with Wayne Ellington. Then it's Winslow, and it's Whiteside in at the 5. Davis setting the pick for Holiday. Not going to go that time. Good work defensively by Whiteside. And it's Dragic off the drive. And McRoberts gets to Dragic. Pass to Winslow.
One time I did it where there's no delay. It was like 6.
And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And White's. Brent took some time off, but what a find he has been since coming back into the league.
Well, it's been nice to see him re-engage and maybe turn around his attitude, his work ethic, and maybe wanting this at his size. You have to give credit to Whiteside for not giving up on himself and putting some of that work in to become the player he is right now.
Second free throw, no good.
And the Heat making some trades last season to get underneath that luxury tax threshold. They reset the clock on the dreaded repeater tax, which absolutely hammers teams for being over the tax for consecutive years.
Here's Holiday. Soft touch off the glass.
This is how you ruin an opposing team's defense. Holiday runs inside and finds the easy shot there.
Here's the screen. Hill against Winslow. It's stolen by Davis. Outside Hill. It's a Jusa. Top of the key. Here's Hield. And it's Whiteside with the rebound. And Brent, as you look at how the Heat have moved to get under the cap, and even with the tax ramifications, they brought in Joe Johnson. It's become a big consideration for teams.
Well, there's no doubt that the penalty with regards to the tax, doubling up and sometimes tripling up what it is that franchises will pay for going over that luxury threshold, is affecting the decision-making of the general managers around the league. But this huge boost in salary cap space, Kevin, that's going to raise some eyebrows as well.
Hield kicks to Davis. Holiday sets the pick for Davis. He dishes it to Holiday. It's hauled in by the Heat. Defeated by the Pelicans in their last game. They'll try to put that one behind them.
Yeah, major problems at the charity stripe in that game. They just could not convert their free throws.
Yeah, most people be running at 480.
Those are not points that you can afford to miss out on. Step up, knock down your free throws. They shot themselves in the foot with their struggles at the line.
Whiteside, good. Pelicans trail by 5. Holiday dishes to Hield. Pass to Davis. They set the screen.
I just can't match it up right.
Back to Holiday. Davis with his screen on Dragic. And looks like the illegal kick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
Yeah, you've got to make sure your feet are set when you set those screens, or they're going to call that on you.
A platoon swap here for New Orleans. And then for Miami, Willie Reed, he's checked in for Josh McRoberts. Derek Williams comes in for Winslow. And it's Johnson in for Wayne Ellington.
Boom.
Just liking what he's seeing from his offense.
And guys, they put the defense on the defensive.
It's stolen by Frazier. And a fast break now for the Pelicans. Here's Hasek. Johnson against Moore. Outside, Jones. Down to 5 on the shot clock.
Boom. Boom.
Hasek with the bucket.
Man, I just can't get.
In the paint, he's a decent threat to score. He looks confident knocking that one down.
Here's Johnson. 11-point game, his last outing. Read a screen from deep.
Boom.
He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Heat lead by 3. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from New Orleans.
That's as close as I can get it.
To hear from former number 2 overall pick Derek Williams about his focus offensively.
Just getting to the basket more, being able to finish with the defender in front of me. I think getting to the line a lot more as well. I think getting to the line and finishing at the basket.
2 huge improvements for him. Ray, can he do more?
Definitely. He's already taken a big leap forward, and there's plenty more room for him to grow. He could become a real beast in this league.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Heat?
They come out of the gates here strong and put together just a solid first quarter.
Well, they've carved out a nice little advantage here, really by dictating the pace early on.
Terrence Jones out there with Omer Usher. And there's Etwan Moore. And there's Cunningham. And it's Galloway at the 1. So that's the group out there for New Orleans.
Well, you look at head coach Eric Spoelstra, the first word that comes to mind is meticulous. He started at the bottom. Now he's here. He used to fetch laundry and walk the coach's dogs. Not doing that anymore. Now one of the most respected coaches in the league. To see how far he's come from the film room to the hardwood, you just have to credit remarkable work ethic.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Miami Heat is still relevant in the East. The team made some excellent roster moves to bring in new talent after losing LeBron James to Cleveland a couple of years ago. Coach Spoelstra said, how many teams, if you lose the best player in the game, can have a compelling team 13 months later? You know, Kevin, in Miami, they don't stay down for long.
Thank you, D.A. A championship caliber organization from the top down. Hasek pass to Galloway. Floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one. And you remember when Eric Spoelstra was the young, unproven coach directing the Big 3, and Brent, believe it or not, he's now the longest tenured coach in the Eastern Conference.
You know, the amazing thing, Kevin, he's still got a good full head.
I think I got it up here.
Still that jet black hair. When is that going to turn gray? I guess if you win some championships and you have that kind of success, it's not going anywhere. And neither is Eric Spoelstra.
The dish to Moore. He kicks it to Jones. Some solid defense from Reed.
It seemed like he changed his mind halfway through the layup, trying to go to something else, and flat out choked.
Outside Williams. Richardson kicks to Whiteside. And there's the whistle. Foul by Hart on the shot. He'll go to the line. And it's on Whiteside, signing a max contract to return to the Miami Heat this summer. What a dramatic change of fortune for a player, Greg, who bounced around early in his career.
Hey guys, this is the best I can get it, guys, as far as the graphic goes. I know the sound is okay. I was trying to sync the video with my voice because there's a delay from when you guys see it. So I was trying to sync my voice up and see how that works. This is the best as the resolution is going to get. But again, I'll be streaming some 2K on Thursdays and Madden on Tuesdays. But I'll be streaming Madden directly from the PlayStation 4. And I have to stream 2K from my XSplit because there's no sound if I stream it from my PlayStation 4.
He hits the second from the line.
So I'm going to give a little bit more of a test to see if my voice is synced up based on the gameplay.
The past few years, it's hard to explain, and it's been a real buzzkill for a team that was expected to become a factor in the Western Conference.
So when you heard me say boom, it's when I see certain things happen, I'm seeing if the boom matches up. Boom! Like that shot.
The kind of injuries that the Pelicans have endured, Brent, would hamper any team, but it's only served to highlight their lack of depth.
Well, when you have the backup to the starter get hurt, I don't know where else you go. I mean, they brought in some D-League guys and tried out some free agents last year and gave them some shots at some 10 days to see if they could find something that was going to work.
So if anybody's watching right now, guys, let me know if my voice, if you can hear my voice, if you can hear the video, give me some feedback. So I think this is it, but give me some feedback. As far as resolution, I think this is the best it's going to get. It's going to get good. It's going to get bad. It's going to fluctuate.
Continue to improve upon that over time.
Frazier dishes to Davis. Evans passes to Davis.
Boom.
And yes, it's good. Davis has got his first points in this one.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
And here's Dragic. 23 points for him the last game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Feeds it to Ellington. To the inside. Pass to Magruder. Miami needs to get a shot off. In the three-point line, it's Dragic. Miami no good on that time either.
I think the defense was surprised that he did not knock that down. Clear defensive breakdown there, guys. Should have made him pay.
Hill kicks to Frazier. Feeds to Holiday. Outside Hill. Here's Frazier. Here's Davis. Up and in on the way. Now it's a 4-point Pelican lead.
That play was all about AD and his hustle. Just a great job snagging that board and dropping it in.
And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. New Orleans on top, up by 4. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's stick.
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, what?
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille. A competitive matchup for New Orleans in the first quarter. They kicked at it on both ends of the floor, and at the end of the period, they had a slight deficit of 3 points. There were a lot of positives for them to take away from the second quarter, where they came from behind to take a 4-point lead in the half. Kenny, your thoughts? The Pelicans are playing.
Well, I thought their turning point was when the bench came in. Those guys really hustled, and they gave the team some energy. And then they started to score baskets. That was a bonus.
And over to Shaq. What'd you think about Miami?
Well, they remind me of Arizona. They were flat defensively. They didn't collapse at the end. They allowed over 50% shooting. I expect them to come out much more aggressive in the second half and try to take the lead early on.
And that'll do it, as the second half is just about ready to begin. Back to Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game. Hey, watch yourself.
Celebrate. You're the best.
Here we go now to the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. And Teams try not to base their offense around isolation scoring, but it sure is a nice
Boom.
luxury, Brent, for a team to have players who can make something out of nothing, manufacture points.
Well, all of a sudden, Kevin, when the ball swings around and there's nothing there, that's when coaches rely on the incredible creativity and scoring ability of some of the game's best. Being able to shake their primary defender,
Boom.
cause a secondary action, and then make the play. Invaluable to have breakdown offensive plays.
On the floor for Miami, Dragic is out there with Wayne Ellington. And it's Justice Winslow. Then there's Josh McRoberts. And it's Whiteside in at the center position. New Orleans shooting their first foul shot of the night. And the free throw, no good. The odd fact for the Heat, they have a lot of left-handed players on their roster, Brent, enough to field a complete lineup. In fact, of softball. They did so last season.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to watch. And I'm just not sure how it is the guys play backwards, Kevin, as a right-handed player.
The Heat shooting their 6th attempt
Boom.
in the game. Pelicans leading by 3. Now here's Hield looking for his first basket still in this one. Dishes it to Hill. Now the pass to Davis. New Orleans moving it around. Just 2 to shoot. Holiday inside the
Boom.
Hassan Whiteside grabs the miss. Whiteside's got 4 rebounds now tonight. About 1 minute played here in the second half. Tries from 10. Another shot. The shot comes out. Great D that time from Davis.
But his offense just has not been there tonight. And he needs to step up his game because there's still time to recover.
Here's Holiday. No good on that one. Now the Heat take it the other way. And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the 10th pick in the draft can sometimes be a diamond in the rough. You remember Paul Pierce went to the Celtics many years ago with the 10th pick, and Justice Winslow fell to the Heat with the 10th pick a couple of years ago. From day one, Winslow has proven to be on the elite side of defenders in the league. Eric Spoelstra told us he plays with a veteran poise, but also with a youthful intensity, particularly on the defensive end. Kevin, he's been a great fit in Miami.
He just makes winning plays, D.A. Thank you. For New Orleans, they have shot just 1 free throw, missing that one earlier.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
Check one more thing.
And that one falls for Davis.
I mean, it's hard not to notice how many ways Anthony Davis can affect a game. Offense, defense. I mean, it's a very short list of deficiencies in his game. Rim protection, rebounding, mobility, spacing, now adding the three-point shot. A transcendent player.
Boom.
Good on the second, so he makes them both. And Davis more of a face-up offensive weapon than an old-school back-to-the-basket big man.
Well, this is where the league is going, Kevin, but I still think Anthony Davis is going to be most effective when he gets the ball on the left block, one dribble away.
It was good, JD.
Defend him with a single guy. They bring the double team, and he's quick to the basket. So much more potential to tap into.
I don't know really what a good quarter length is. I guess you could go what they do in the NBA, but I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna do 6-minute quarters because in your settings you can adjust your simulation settings to what your that way whatever minutes you play, your whole league will adjust to what minutes you play, and everybody will have their own your type of league numbers. So I'm setting my league to 6 minutes, and I have the simulation so the other league will be playing 6 minutes also, so the stats will even out for the whole league. And you can go in your settings and do that where it says simulation.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
But right now it's on 4 minutes, but I'm just doing a test.
Cunningham inside, working on Williams. Cunningham's shot is off. The Heat with the lead. Kicks to Richardson. Outside Williams. Here's Whiteside.
Boom.
And That's Anthony Davis with the rebound. Davis has got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him. But luckily, his teammates have picked up the slack. Important points there. Got him on a nice play, getting the ball inside and right to the bucket.
Picked by Williams. Pass to Reed. Moore against Williams. Here's Whiteside, and Ushit sees him. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. There's 10 seconds left to play in the third. Screen by Jones. Here's Evans. And the shot goes down. And the Pelicans lead by 3.
Well, the pick didn't exactly neutralize the defender, but